My name is Chelsea and I study at Notre Dame in Sydney. Well, I went to mid-year conference in 2017 and I think I'd never really thought about the role of prayer in my life. Like, it was something that I did and that was cool, and I knew that I had to do it as a Christian. But I didn't really think of it as something that could move mountains in the same way that maybe the disciples could back in the day. Yeah, but I remember when I heard John North speak about prayer, it just, I guess it just like changed my whole perspective. Like when it says in the Bible that you can ask for anything and like you'll get it because he hears us. Like there's no asterisk on that. There's no sort of maybe to it. Like if we really are aligned with his will, that like that's something we're going to get. Yeah, and it really just struck me. And so I went home and I tried really hard to figure out how I could take something that had made such a big impact on me and turn it into something that was like a part of my daily routine. Yeah, so I remember I went home and I just knelt at my bed and I remember just praying for like 3 hours. Something insane, like I've never done that before, but I was just so like gripped by feeling like God was at work in the world and also in me, and that like something could happen if I prayed for it. And then after that I decided to pray for half an hour every day in the morning and then in the night, and I feel like I just saw everything change in that whole year. Yeah, 3 really big things for me was, the first one was my friend Dan. So Dan and I have been friends for a really long time, and he had a fairly traumatic childhood and he's really struggled with intense anxiety and depression. It's just like heartbreaking to see someone go through that, but more than like the mental illness side was just like the spiritual aspect. He was just so inward focused, like it just seemed like he was drowning in the things that he was feeling and thinking. I keep a really extensive diary and in my diary a few years ago I wrote that I don't think he will ever know what it is to truly be a Christian, and I literally wrote only a miracle could save Dan. Like there's nothing that anyone can do and there's nothing he can do. And so we prayed for Dan at NYC and we came back and me and a friend just kept praying for him. And then it was like one particular day that he woke up. I can actually like pinpoint the day. It was August 15th. we celebrate it every month. And he woke up and he just felt fine. And he came over and he felt fine. And then he went back to his psychologist, who's a Christian, and he told her that he felt fine. And she was just shocked. and she talked to him for ages. They went over time. And eventually she just like put her clipboard away and she said, I haven't seen anything like this. I think this is just the spirit, like you don't have to come back. And he never did. It's been a year now. And in church he would just start crying at hymns. And up till that point he'd shown like no genuine, I think, interest in the faith. And all of a sudden we're singing real basic songs, like we're singing Cornerstone, we're singing stuff that I even like zone out during. And he's just standing there, just like tears down his face. Yeah, and now he's one of the people where when I make a friend who I think is like has spiritual interest, I bring Dan and we have coffee with them because he's so ready to see other people know the joy that we have.